Remember when our biggest financial worry was whether we had enough quarters for the arcade? Simpler times, right? When a dollar could buy you a Coke and you still had change left over? Now here we are, decades later, frantically Googling retirement savings hacks at 2 a.m. like we're cramming for a final exam we forgot about. Sound familiar? If that hits a little too close to home, stick around, because we need to talk about why needing financial hacks at this stage feels like such a gut punch. Welcome to 50 Cents of Advice, dropping dimes of wisdom, one 50-cent piece at a time. I'm Eli Pennywise, and today we're diving into something that's been eating at me, and probably you too. Why does every piece of financial advice these days sound like it's written for someone half our age? Or worse, like we're supposed to have figured this out 20 years ago. But here's what gets me, and I'll tell you exactly why in just a minute. The same generation that mastered the art of stretching a dollar at Woolworths is now being told we need hacks to fix our finances. When did basic money management become rocket science? Seriously. And more importantly, what does it mean that we're all Googling the same desperate questions at midnight? The reality check. Let's start with some uncomfortable truth-telling here. Gen Xers feel much less prepared for retirement than boomers do, and they tend to have lower financial knowledge, even though they're in their peak earning years. Meanwhile, 83% of adults are stressed by high inflation rates, and honestly, most of us are just making it up as we go along. You know what this reminds me of? Remember when VCR programming was the ultimate tech challenge? You either figured it out, or you lived with that blinking 12 a.m. forever. Well, financial planning has become our generation's VCR programming, except this time the stakes are a lot higher than missing the season finale of Dallas. The thing is, we grew up in an era where you didn't need hacks. Your parents worked for the same company for 30 years, got a pension, bought a house for 3 times their annual salary, and called it a day. Now, 25% of younger adults are trying something called infinite banking, and 32% are day trading, while we're over here trying to figure out if we should pay off our mortgage or max out our 401k. And speaking of things that have changed, wait until you hear what I discovered about why the advice that worked for our parents is actually sabotaging us today. That's coming up. Here's the thing that really stings. Calling them hacks implies we've somehow failed at the normal way of doing things. It's as if financial advice has become a video game where we're seeking cheat codes rather than playing the game properly. Remember when life hacks meant knowing you could record songs off the radio onto your boombox if you timed it just right? Now we've got people talking about cash stuffing, which, let's be honest, is just the envelope method our grandparents used, but with a TikTok-worthy name. Boomers have spent decades refining smart financial habits, and their methods stand the test of time. They understood concepts like buying quality items that last, cooking at home to save money, and here's the big one, living within their means instead of relying on borrowed money. But here's where it gets interesting. The same advice is being repackaged as revolutionary hacks for younger generations. Home-cooked meals can slash food expenses significantly, and buying high-quality items means replacing them less often. Groundbreaking stuff, right? The real problem isn't that we need hacks. It's that we're operating in a completely different financial landscape with rule books written for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Let me paint you a picture of how different things are now. Adult members of younger generations own just 74 cents for every $1 of wealth that baby boomers owned at the same age. And get this. Younger generations are almost equally likely to own cryptocurrency, 21%, as they are to own real estate, 20%. Think about that for a second. We're living in a world where Bitcoin is as attainable as home ownership. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about how the game has changed, I don't know what will. Remember when the biggest investment decision was choosing between a passbook savings account and a CD? Now we've got people our age trying to figure out if they should put money in a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, a SEP IRA, or stuff it under the mattress, like our great-grandparents did during the Depression. And here's the kicker. Only 36% of Gen Xers and baby boomers have tried financial hacks compared to 62% of younger adults. But here's what nobody talks about. Maybe the reason we haven't tried them is because we remember when managing money didn't require a computer science degree and a psychology PhD. But wait, there's a smart way to think about this that doesn't involve admitting defeat or chasing the latest financial fad. I'll share that strategy in just a moment. Here's what I've learned after years of watching people chase financial shortcuts. The best hack is often the most boring advice you've ever heard. But let me frame it differently. Instead of thinking about financial hacks, think about financial adaptation. We're not failing at money. We're adapting to a completely different set of rules. Gen Xers tend to value financial independence and knowledge while being open to new opportunities as long as they aren't too risky. That's actually our superpower. We have the life experience to smell BS from a mile away, but we're also flexible enough to learn new tricks when necessary. So here's my practical framework. And yes, I'm calling it a framework instead of a hack because we're adults. First, audit your money like it's 1985. Remember when you had to balance a checkbook? Do that, but with every subscription every automatic payment, every small recurring charge. I bet you'll find money you forgot you were spending. Second, apply the Schoolhouse Rock test. Remember how they made complex topics simple with those cartoons? If you can't explain your investment strategy in terms a kid could understand, you're probably overcomplicating it. Third, use the Reaganomics principle. Trust but verify. Just because someone on social media claims their budgeting method will change your life doesn't mean it will change yours. Test small before you go big. Fourth, channel your inner Mr. T. I pity the fool who thinks there's a magic bullet for retirement planning. The best approach is usually a combination of boring consistency and smart automation. Now, I want to hear from you because I know we're all dealing with different versions of this. What's the most ridiculous financial advice you've seen marketed as a hack? And more importantly, what old school money wisdom do you wish more people understood? Drop a comment and tell me, what financial advice from your parents or grandparents do you still follow today? Or maybe share the moment you realized the financial game had completely changed from when you were younger. Because here's the thing, we're all figuring this out together. None of us got a manual for navigating healthcare costs that would make a station wagon payment look like pocket change, or for planning retirement in an era where pensions went the way of the dodo. Before we wrap up, here are 3 things you can do this week. No apps required. 1. List every subscription and recurring payment you have. I mean everything. That streaming service you signed up for during lockdown, that gym membership you've been meaning to cancel, that software you tried once. Cancel anything you haven't used in the last month. 2. Calculate your actual food spending for 1 week. Don't change your habits, track them. I guarantee it's more than you think, and unlike in the Pepsi Challenge era, eating out costs serious money now. 3. Call one company, your phone provider, insurance company, whoever, and ask about discounts. Sometimes the senior discount you qualify for now is better than any hack you'll find online. Look, needing financial advice at this stage of life doesn't mean you failed. It means you're adapting to a world that changed the rules while you were busy living your life. The difference between wisdom and hacks is that wisdom builds on itself, while hacks are just temporary shortcuts. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more reality-based financial advice without the gimmicks. And if you know someone who's been doom scrolling financial TikTok at midnight, share this video with them. Sometimes we all need a reminder that we're not behind, we're just playing a different game. I'm Eli Pennywise, and that's your 50 cents of advice. Keep the change and keep building wealth the grown-up way.